Hello and welcome to our reflections on Wednesday 18th of October. The passage set for us for today is a break in the rhythm of things. We've been looking at the letter of the Hebrews, but today, because it is the feast day of St. Luke, we're looking at a passage from 2 Timothy chapter 4 verses 5 to 17. Here Paul is writing to Timothy, and it comes at the end of all kinds of messages that Paul wants to send to Timothy. But here in this particular passage, he mentions lots of names: Demas, Crescens, Titus, Mark, Tychicus, all people who obviously Timothy knew. And he's quite scathing about some of the people who he says haven't done him any good at all. But there are others who've gone off to other places on mission, and he commends Timothy to them and them to Timothy. And then he says, only Luke is with me. And that's why the passage has been set for today, because it's Luke's feast day. Only Luke is with me. Luke is portrayed as the constant companion and friend. He's a person who went with Paul on many of his journeys, and so in Acts of the Apostles we get quite a few passages where it's written as we did this and we did that. And scholars believe that Luke wrote that, as well as the Acts of the Apostles, as well as the actual gospel that bears his name. So Luke's ever present throughout Paul's ministry, it seems. And here, when he feels deserted by a lot of people and let down by some other people, only Luke is with me. Luke, of course, was a doctor and a historian. He was the one who wrote the Acts of the Apostles, which is basically a history of various of the events that happened in the early church. So he's a person with an analytical mind, as all historians have to do, the ability to take information and weigh it and to decide what's most important and how to describe it as well. In a proper factual way. He's analytical, but he's obviously, as a doctor, got a caring spirit within him as well. Only Luke is with me. I'm making this video at the point where the news has just broken of a strike on a hospital in Gaza City with hundreds of people killed. An attack on a hospital, or an accident that happened that people didn't plan, on a hospital, a place where people are cared for. And it seems in all the news stories that the evacuation of people from the northern bit of Gaza actually has not included the hospital staff at the, I think, 22 hospitals that were due to be evacuated, because they have stayed with their patients, particularly those who are in intensive care or needing particular attention. To desert them is not something that they seek to do in any circumstances, even at the risk of their own lives. Seems to me that there's something in this passage that resonates with that Luke is the one who stays with Paul no matter what. Seems to me that we've got examples today in the news of people who stick around without concern about themselves, only thinking of others. Something very powerful in the linking of those current events with events way back when. I'm minded of the fact that Claire and Barbara have left yesterday to go back to Mawa Hospital in Kenya after a brief time with us in this circuit, to go back to help with people who are finding life difficult and distressing, to do their bit. There's something about the constancy of care, about people being there when everybody else isn't there for them, that I want to just flag up today and ask you to consider the people who are there for you. Whatever the circumstances that you find yourself in, there will be some people who are there for you. So maybe today is the point where it might be appropriate for you to particularly thank God for them, for their companionship in the circumstances, good and bad, that you find yourself in, always there. Our churches try to offer that sort of pastoral support and care, to be on hand in whatever circumstances people find themselves. And it's a joy when I hear stories when that has really worked well. So think carefully about the benefits that you get from having people who care for you and are there with you, just as Luke was with Paul through it all. So today's a chance to offer thanks, but also maybe to think who